The Bears.
Because of the way they play the nickel corner here, and the nickel corner plays 88-85% of the snaps. He's got to be like part linebacker.
The Bears.
When you're in a scouting room, there's going to be differences of opinion.
The Bears.
Well, you're looking at traits. And remember when he tested very, very well.
The Bears.
Greg, why are teams wrong on quarterback evaluation so often?
Number one, it's a hard position to evaluate.
Former Bears scouting director Greg Gabriel talks football live every week on the Barroom Network. Also available on demand.
Look, I think it's a good time to be a Chicago Bears fan. There's a lot to be excited about. But let me tell you something. We are past the point of excuses. If things go sour, you have used up all of the patience that Chicago has to offer.
The following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's done by Barflies for Barflies and all the other Bears fans out there. What's going on, fellas? Our boy Tooch is dealing with some family matters, hanging out with his son today. So it's AC, C-Dub, and KB holding you down this morning. Luckily, Tooch did give me some of his thoughts on last week's games, and we'll get into all that. But first things first, how y'all doing? C-Dub, how was your week, and how you doing this morning?
Well, obviously the week started off terribly. I was quite angered after Monday Night Football, but not as angered as some ridiculous comments I saw on social media throughout the week. You know, people going, sack the head coach, bench Caleb, start my mum at quarterback. Just fucking absolute ridiculous fucking statements. And, it sucks to be lost, but like we'll go into, the Vikings only lost 3 games last year, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. And, it was a bummer, man, but like I feel like I can see a few more positives than I could do like Tuesday morning. So, it's always great to spend Sunday afternoon with you boys, man. And, it's just one of them weeks, isn't it, about being a Bears fan, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean we'll get into everything, but it was a tough start to the week for all of us, I think. It didn't make it any easier when you start seeing comments from your fellow Bears fans a lot of the time, which is the sad part of it. KB, how you doing, brother? How was your week?
Oh man, you know what I'm saying? It's a busy week out here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of moving parts going on this way. Start of the week, it is what it is. Monday, you take an L. Especially in a game you feel like you should have probably won. Felt like the Bears were pretty much up pretty handily. It felt even when it was 17-3 at the time, whatever the case was for the score. You just kind of felt like the Bears they had the game in hand. And then second quarter happens, adjustments get made on one side and not enough get made on the other. I mean, there's a lot of places you can point blame to for this game. I don't feel like it's all laid in one spot, but yeah, like I said, we're gonna get into it, man.
Yes, it's really hard to zero in on one issue when there was a plethora of blame to really go around. But yeah, it was just a tough way to start the week, man. Especially the way the game started. We started off hot, looking really good, and then it just kind of all fell apart. It was a tough watch.
It's like you said, the first, the offense scored on the first drive, which we hadn't done in fucking ages. Caleb throws 10 out of 10, his first 10 passes, which were like amazing. And we were getting pressure on their rookie quarterback near the end of the second quarter, and we were completely rattling the guy. He didn't know what was going on. I'm sure there was something like on a hot mic where basically he didn't really know what was going on. But I think as well, it's just because you wait that long for the NFL season to start, and it is such a short season once we have it that, you get so hyped up. But we've all got to understand that the Bears in week 1 and 2 should not be the same Bears team at the latter part of the season.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of new things, new head coach, new offensive system. Right, Caleb, he didn't see some throws, and also he overthrew. But he didn't turn the ball over. He got a touchdown in himself. We lost to a team which, are always sneakily good, and they're 14-3. And their defensive front as well are really good. And but I must admit, I was quite sort of surprised how badly the offensive line played in parts through the game. Especially like, is it Freeman, the right guard?
No, Josh Jackson. Jonah Jackson. I said Josh Jackson.
Yeah. Who am I on about? God. Him and the center, gashed a few players and instead he got pushed back. But I mean, I thought Braxton Jones played pretty solid to say who we were against. But it was, I think it's just because at the start of the season. But I just think people have just got to give believe in the process, and you just got to think it's week 1. And I know people will start going, oh well, Caleb had these problems, last year, which he did to a point. But you think, well, this is something that can fix. If something fixable rather than something where you think he's never going to be able to do that. And I think as well, I think Ben Johnson had put in his head about checking the ball down like he did in the first sort of quarter a lot. Getting them short passes out. But it was just sort of that, and the penalties that kept putting us back on the sticks, and you lose your momentum, and then. I just think as well, as soon as we missed that field goal, I would have sat here going, man, I can feel the momentum swing from here, from the other side of the fucking pond, man.
Chris,
I just knew I went, we're going to lose this game. I thought that's it, we've lost this game. But sorry, man, what do you guys think?
Well, do you have the Wanker of the week this week? I'll hit the intro for it if you want me to.
I don't know, man. You know what? I think I want to retire it, because when you say Wanker of the week, it's sort of like you personally hate that person, and I never do. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe we should have a bit of, because there's people at the day playing this sport, but I mean, I don't want to say Caleb because I don't. I know he missed some throws, but it wasn't the sting what cost us the game. I don't know. We'll come back with it next week. But I don't know. What do you guys reckon?
Yes.
All right.
Well,
we had people in the chat last week asking for it, so
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Yeah. They definitely were looking for it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, if it's popular, then obviously we're going to be doing it.
Well, you want me to hit it and we can talk on it?
Yeah, but who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I don't want to say Caleb because fuck it.
I mean, you can point it in any direction.
What's the name of that right guard again? KB.
Joel Jackson.
Yeah, fuck it, roll it.
Piss off, you grassy little wanker! Shut up, you soppy wanker!
Wanker! You're a wanker! Wanker!
Stop being a wanker.
You are a wanker, Andy Marr. And I'll be honest, I didn't know that was coming, but I'll say it again, you are a wanker.
This is Chris Watts's Wanker of the Week.
Wow, well
this
apparently...
is your first time listening or viewing. Chris Watts goes over his Wanker of the Week, whose fault it was, who he feels like needs to get their shit together. He doesn't hate them personally, as he thinks so, but somebody messed something up. And who is your Wanker of the Week, Chris?
Like, personal attack on the individual. It's just the player or the player. I just want to stress that point. I don't want to be a hater, man. I'm a lover. You know what I mean? I mean, I can't believe people wanted this back on, by popular demand, apparently. I don't know if AC would have saying that just to sort of soothe my ego. But
no. Hey, last week they were asking, they said they wanted a prediction for Wanker of the Week last week.
Oh, really? Right? Fucking hell, I should get T-shirts done. But, yeah, I mean, all right, Caleb won a bit of a wanker in second half for missing them open throws. I've got to give him a slight, a bit of a wanker because they were important throws and they were throws what he should have made because they were like, the intermediate throws and all, apart from that where we missed DJ Moore, but apparently didn't DJ Moore run a different route? Oh, well, I didn't know that until quite recently. So that's what everybody really bitching about, wasn't they? That overthrow to DJ Moore like the following day. So, you know what? DJ Moore, you're the Wanker of the Week for doing that. What the fuck are you doing? That's a massive change of heart. It was going to be the right guy, but I've changed my mind. DJ Moore, once again, you are the Wanker of the Week. And that's just
so DJ
instant emotional thinking.
Yeah. I'll be honest, fellas. After I'm glad we don't do this show on Tuesday mornings because if we did, I would have been scorched earth on this team. I know it's been broken down several times. Of Caleb may have missed this throw. The receiver may have run the wrong route on this throw. But I saw some concerning things. His accuracy looked damn good in the first half when he was doing his check downs. But then when the defense started covering up those check downs, he didn't really show the ability to hit the ones down. And we see the special, that play to Roma Dunze on the sideline. He is one of maybe 3 quarterbacks that can hit that pass, which is what throws you off so bad. Like, how can you hit this, but you can't just stand in the pocket and deliver a deep ball accurately? Matthew Fochese, shout out. He says, I swear if we lose this game, because our kicker can't make a 40-plus yard field goal, I'm going to snap. I feel like we're going to get into that a little bit because the Bears did make a bit of a roster move this week.
Oh, God.
And I should have partially put the kicker in as Wanker of the Week as well. So I reckon really when we do the Wanker of the Week in the future, I think it should maybe not just be settled on one person. If there's a few people do like a
Wankers of the Week.
Well, Wanker, that's KB.
Wankers of the Week.
Straight away.
Because we had a few of them.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's the hardest thing is try to pick just one or narrow it down to one person. So good call, KB. Sorry.
Well, I lost my train of thought now. People were in the chat talking about the refs. That was a big one for me too. I mean, you had the phantom holding call on Darnell Wright that absolutely killed that drive.
Yeah.
Because on the next play you have the intentional grounding, and then you go from a 40-yard field goal to a 50-yard field goal, which in today's NFL, you have to be able to hit either of them. But Cairo, for all of his accuracy that he's had in the past, he has shown that he just doesn't have the leg that a lot of these kickers have. I mean, we watched just in that same game, we watched their kicker nail a 59-yarder before halftime, which
Right.
KB, we were live at the time, and we were like, why aren't you using a timeout to at least ice this guy?
Didn't even ice him.
I mean, it's a plethora of issues that happen in this game. Yeah.
I mean, I think.
Go ahead, KB. Give me your thoughts, man. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
I would say, man, just so I know you gave DJ his spanking on that play.
That's an attitude wanker of the week. It's a bit like, like when he walked off last year against Miami. I just thought that was absolutely disgusting. So it was just an instant emotional response, which sometimes that's what wanker of the week's about.
I got you. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too hard on them for that because you ran the space. You needed to play. Then DJ Moore improvised. I'm sorry, you play backyard football. You don't know all the routes because somebody might run something different, and you still throw that pass and hit it. He was wide open. There's no excuse. I don't want to hear, he ran a different route and Caleb just didn't see him. I'm sorry, he threw the ball at him and overthrew him. Could have threw the ball directly to him. It's not that hard of a throw. I could have made that throw. That being said,
whoa! Do you reckon, KB?
Huh?
Do you reckon? You definitely reckon you can?
I definitely know I could have made that throw. I make that throw in the backyard all the time, bro. It wasn't nothing but a 20-yard throw.
You know what? I don't know why I disturbed you.
You got to put that on a rope to him, man. He walks in like. But that being said, the refs to me were egregious in that game. You had the first DPI that was thrown in the early portions of the game where McCarthy clearly underthrew his wide receiver, and you have the wide receiver trying to battle through a ball that he's not going to catch.
It's done throughout the league,
all over.
Yeah,
and you're not catching that ball. You're not. He underthrew it. You can't reward a quarterback for underthrowing a ball, but they reward them. Right. They get a great field position because of that pass. You had the phantom holding call that we talked about on Darnell Wright. At the end of the day, that's not a hold. He pancaked his guy. His guy fell forward. He pushed him down into the ground and pancaked him. That's how that works. That works for everybody else. Anybody else in the league does that, they're fine. Against the Bears, it's a holding call. Like I said, Jonah Jackson was absolutely atrocious.
Terrible.
Atrocious. I think they said he had 16 pressures given up on the 40 some odd snaps. So you know where your pressure's coming from. Darnell Wright gave up zero. Braxton Jones was graded out as the third best lineman in the game. So you're not having issues really coming from the left. Your issue was coming up the middle. Drew Dahlman and Jonah Jackson didn't play their best games.
No.
I'm not going to put so much on the defense because the defense came out firing. They played lights out that first half. But when you're constantly on the field, we know what happens. We've seen what happens with Urlacher and Briggs and Charles Tillman. The greats on defense, when you're on the field most of the game, you get wore out. And after a certain point, the dam finally breaks. You got 4 starters missing on your defense. You know what I'm saying? So at what point do you sit there and say, okay, the dam has to break eventually? You just hope that your offense is doing enough that it can make up for the deficiencies. Why do you have what's my man's name? The linebacker 44 that we got. Sewell. Played fantastic to me. Fantastic. But why do you have Noah Sewell, who's not good in coverage on Aaron Jones on out the backfield on the wheel route?
Can't do it.
They found the weakness and they attacked it. He's not good in coverage.
Just a question. Do you think that our defensive coordinator didn't change sort of tactics once the Vikings started running the ball? Because really, I mean, that was one of the reasons why they won, because it took pressure off McCarthy, who were rattling at the end of the first quarter. So what do you reckon?
It absolutely did. And then you have to it kind of brings it back to what we thought. We didn't see a lot of Nug guy at all. So you had DeAndre Swift carrying the load. And for all that DeAndre Swift is not a patient runner at all.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift will run into the trouble and then leave 3 or 4 yards out on the field. I give him points because there was a couple points in the game he ran extremely hard. Like I said, kudos up for him. But the fact that you don't have another running back and I don't feel you did enough as a GM or head coach to try to get more talent in the building. You had DJ Moore taking snaps at running back.
I mean, what to you though, and also to AC? What do you make? What does that make you think their views are of the rookie running back? Because he got 2 catches and he didn't get did he actually get a rush?
Well, he got hit with that holding call. I think he kind of went into the doghouse after that.
Yeah.
Right. Because I kept thinking when DJ Moore on the field going, what about the rookie? Because it could have been ideal in that game, especially when it was sort of tight. But it was just like the momentum change was so big, and we were so on his heels. And like KB was saying, if our offense is like going 3 and out, it's getting behind the chains, really, what fucks us up. Really. And also as well, one of the private concerns about Caleb is when he's calling out the plays. Like, that's why some people are jumping offside, before the snap or whatever. I don't know what have you heard about that, or what do you reckon?
From my understanding, they said that he was doing a good job with his cadence. So
Right.
I give him that, but O-line. It's like,
well, I mean, while we're on the quarterback, we'll just take from the GOAT, and he was on Colin Cowherd's show this week, and we got a little clip of what he had to say, and I'll just roll it.
There's a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing when they're tasked with coaching a quarterback or calling an offense. Just like we'd rank quarterbacks 1 to 32. Do you rank offensive coordinators 1 to 32? Do you rank quarterback coaches 1 to 32? Well, what if you had the 32nd ranked coordinator in someone's mind, or the 32nd ranked quarterback coach? How is he getting a level of development that the guy who's first is getting? As Bill Belichick became more of a quarterback coach, he decided to come in every week and talk to the quarterbacks about coverage. All right, guys. And he would do these big write-ups. Tom, this is cover 1. This is how they play it. This is who's responsible for who. Okay, if we line up in a bunch formation, this is how they're going to handle the bunch formation. This is why they do that. This is the weakness of that, why they do that. You shouldn't do this if that's just how they cover this. Okay, this is cover 2. This is how they cover. They play 2 variations of cover 2. When they're in this variation, this is what they're trying to stop. When they're in this variation, this is what they're trying to stop. That's how I developed and learned, oh, shit, defense calls a certain play. This is how we can put them in this formation, and they can back the coverage off, and I'll have a short throw underneath. Oh, great. I love that. Let's do that. Nobody's getting that type of development. Then I would go out and meet with player personnel people, who are very talented. Okay, we'd go through the entire defensive lineup. Okay, these are all the things that this defense does. This is what this player does well. This player does well. This player does well. That's development. You're giving people knowledge and information that you could take to the field so that you could play with confidence and anticipation, and that would free you up to play a very aggressive style of football. What if you're a quarterback and you go to a system and they don't teach you coverage? They don't teach you cover 1. They don't teach you cover 2. They don't teach you cover 4. They don't have personnel meetings. They give you an offensive game plan and they go, all right, buddy, here you go. Figure it out. And after Thanksgiving of your second year, they're going, man, this guy just can't play anymore. He stinks. He can't read coverage. It's like, dude, what did you teach him anything?
Ooh, Tom Brady said a bad word on TV.
I love that quote. And like I said before I started it, I love that they said it on Colin Cowherd, because Colin Cowherd was the first one to flip-flop on Caleb Williams. He's a USC fanboy. If you listen to his show, he will ride USC and all the LA teams all the time. Caleb comes into the NFL. He expected to see – he was one of them calling him generational, putting that on his shoulders as a rookie coming into his first start with – and Tom said it perfectly. Was he getting this coaching last year? No shot. There's no chance he was getting this coaching last year. The guy's watching film by himself. What do you expect? Now, he does have faults, like Flex Diggs is saying in the chat. Hopefully, he can set his feet and throw. If you look back at that DJ Moore miss, if you look at his right leg, it's flying up in the air. I don't know what in the world that is. Like, you're not going to get accuracy if your feet aren't set. And I was watching the Manning cast after we got off the air, KB, because I wanted to hear what Peyton and Eli were saying about the quarterbacks. And Peyton was literally breaking down the way his footwork going from touchdown to check down and how he was resetting his feet and doing everything correctly. We got to get back on track, and that's where coaching comes in place. And I don't think Caleb's ever been coached to that point. Now, someone else in the chat said Ben Johnson is having a bad game. Guys, we've got to give him time. I know he's the guy we've all wanted for 2 years, and I feel like he can get there, but that was his first ever game as a head coach. We can't expect it to be a finished product. I heard Carmen DeFalco on ESPN 1000 this week saying, I'm done with the excuses. The coaching, it's supposed to be fixed with the coaching. Dude, it's his first ever head coaching game. You expect him to be perfect in the first game he's ever head coached? The challenge was bad. Absolutely. And, with the mistakes and the blame can go all around, from penalties to coaching to quarterbacking to defense.
I mean, for me, I see one of his. Sorry, KB, you sound like you're bubbling.
You good?
I'll be quick. But to me, it just sounds like the biggest sort of thing I'd hold against him is not getting a running game going, because that's the whole thing about his offense, isn't it? You set them up in the same position and you start running off different players in that position, but you need to get the running game going. And that would have took so much off Caleb's soldiers, because he was getting nothing from the running game. He was like the leading rusher of the team. And when that happens, then everything is just reliant on him all the time. And it was disappointing, but it's just people have just got to. This isn't the end product. This is a part of the process, and I think we were all. I was pissed off, really pissed off the next day. But then you just got to think, well, it's the first game of the season. Plenty of other teams that were supposed to be Super Bowl bound lost, like the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens, not just the sorry-ass Chicago Bears. Do you know what I mean? And they're expected still to make it to the Super Bowl. People are going, oh, it's just like last year. To me, it's nothing like last year at all. Like I said, it feels like it's things what a coach or what can be fixable, with the problems with Caleb. Do you know what I mean? And also as well, I'm really glad we got Caleb, but I'm not one of these people where, say if he got the bike, I'm not one of these people who goes, don't look at me at all if Caleb's sort of not improving at all. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's like whoever's the best player for the team. It's all about team. If the team wins, I couldn't give a shit who it is. As long as they're the best man and he's winning, I don't give a shit who it is. So I just think he's had far too much criticism. But I know why, and I think some of the tone's been a bit pathetic. You know what I mean? But I just think his offensive line didn't help him. No, I mean, Ben Johnson not calling him all running plays. He even said it himself after the game that he should have got the run going. But then, like you said, KB, about AC, whoever said it, who the fuck are we going to run in that room? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, would you have been happy for the Bears to try to get a running back in the early rounds? And not to like when we got our guy in the 7th or 5th.
They wanted Henderson. It was very apparent that they wanted Henderson. Just like I'm pretty sure they wanted Ashton Genty, but they're not there. We can bitch, moan, and do everything else that we want to do, but at the end of the day, if they would have traded up for one of those guys, people would have bitched and moaned that they traded up. So at the end of the day, it is what it is.
If we traded up for a running back, that's I love those dudes.
So
but
at the end of the day, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like we can't have it both ways. Right now, I mean, yeah, I would have loved for us to taken a shot on somebody like Ollie Gordon. I would have absolutely loved to draft him because before last year, Ollie Gordon was looked at as a early round pick running back. He just went back to school and did what everybody else does. Didn't perform. But I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, with the challenge, man, I thought it was a fumble. I mean,
did you? I didn't. It just didn't seem right to me. I thought they're not going to call it.
I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? He didn't make contact with the guy. He hit the ball. I felt like we had ticky-tack calls like that going
it's in and he should know the rules better than I do.
Yeah.
But he should know the rules better than I do. And he said that someone in the booth told him that guy's down, and he went on his own intuition to challenge it. Good play
real quick.
by
Just
to
answer
and to take it back to the end zone.
Yeah, I just want to answer Q's. Q, Judkins isn't playing right now. What are you talking about? You talking about we going to draft Judkins and Ursary?
Although he was named the starting left tackle of the Houston Texans, that's the starting left tackle of the worst offensive line in the NFL. We will continue to see them fail because the entire line is not good. It is failing in Houston. Jacksonville might take that division. Mr. Duval, my boy Liam Cohen, might take the AFC South because their offensive line is that bad.
What were your guys' what were your guys' concerns regarding the pass rush? Because Sweat didn't seem to do that. He didn't seem to do jack shit until he had where he knocked the pass down near the end of the game. I never really saw much pressure from the ends or up the middle, really.
I was gonna say, Grady Jarrett was pretty much held in check.
Maybe apart from the end of the second quarter, where we sort of rattled him near the end of the second quarter.
I'm just saying, man. The only person to me that really showed up to play defensively on the line was the person that we all had issues with. I think Dio was the only good defensive end. Like, I don't know, man. Grady and Cuz and them, like Javon played. I mean, he had a couple decent pressures, but yeah, the only person that really showed up to play, in my opinion, was Dio.
I don't know, fellas. I feel the opposite. In the first half, our D-line was absolutely getting home and rattled that rookie quarterback. Had him throwing a pick six, running out of the pocket to try and make plays and still getting taken down. Guys who are no-name guys. The guy that they signed from New Orleans, I can't even pronounce it. Capasso or Capasson, I can't remember his name. He got a sack.
This sounds good.
They were getting tons of pressure, but the difference was, and you touched on this earlier, Watts, is in the second half, the Vikings started running the ball, and they were getting 5 to 6 yards a clip, it felt like. So that takes a toll on your defensive line being out there, being beaten down, and then you build off of that. You run a play action. Oh, I just happen to have one of the top 2-3 wide receivers in the league, and Justin Jefferson. It was only a matter of time before they got him involved. Aaron Jones does what he does, and he's a Bears killer. They hit Hawkinson a few times, so it was really shout out to Kevin O'Connell on his coaching because he saw his quarterback struggling, took some off his plate, and they were able to capitalize. Whereas the Chicago Bears, they did try to run the ball, and this goes back to DeAndre Swift just not being the guy, man. There's plays, they always want to break down the tape on the quarterback. Well, now we're seeing clips of the running back where there's holes and he's just dancing and misses his hole or misses his time. Like KB said, he's not a patient runner. He doesn't wait for his holes to develop to get through. And then behind him, they brought in DJ Moore. They didn't give Monunga guy the ball. Like I said, he got a hold in the first half, and I didn't see him much after that. But this goes back to polls, and this is something that Tooch has been harping on. You're missing in the draft. You're not making the correct signings. And he talked about last week wanting a GM like Howie Roseman. Well, KB, we watched Howie Roseman, even with his stacked roster, he's going out and trading for other players that have value. Tank Bigsby is now a Philadelphia Eagle. He went out and signed Zadarius Smith. This dude, your team is a Super Bowl favorite, but that does not mean your job is done as a general manager.
No,
and Ryan Poles has missed in the draft. He's not trading for the right guys. He holds on to guys for far too long. And they extended this guy. So it's not like we're ever going to get out of it, but you got to figure it out, bro. You've got to figure it out.
I think, AC, as well, it's something you brought last week where, are they trying to be like the most intelligent guys in the room with some of the draft picks, like, getting guys from like smaller schools and like Yale instead of just going to like, the SEC, where you're going to get a lineman. If you're after a lineman, you're going to get a good lineman.
Shout out Aldo, man. That's a good line.
Especially in this country, Aldo, it's usually rain or a little bit of not rain.
Yeah, it's pretty easy in the UK, right? A bit cloudy today.
Right. Sort of wispy grey clouds and overcast. And if we get a bit of sun, this is so funny in England and Britain. If we get like a bit of like early spring sun, and you get you maybe like get like a hot day where it's like summer weather. In this country, everybody just goes completely crazy. Everybody's there in the shorts. People go to beach. People because we never know how long we're going to get it for. So people go completely over the top. Any bit of sunshine we get, we try and make the most of it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's real.
KB, what are your thoughts on what I just said and your thoughts on Poles in general? I mean, like I said, I know he's been extended, so it's not like we can force their hand to fire this guy, but we're continuing to see it. And we see it on draft night when we're like Zay Frazier, they drafted him. And I know he's got a personal issue, but we haven't seen the guy. You draft Ruben Hippolyte, did he play last night?
I don't think he maybe on special teams.
Your top four.
Definitely played on special teams. I think he won him for a few plays, on Dave. I'm sure he was.
Well, your top 4 draft picks from last year's draft, you get Colston Leveland, who had 1 or 2 targets. You have Quinshon Judkins, who had 1 catch for -3 yards. You have
Quinshon Judkins.
I meant Luther Burden the third. The chat's got me thrown off. Luther Burden the third, who had 1 catch for -3 yards. Trapillo, who's a backup right tackle at this point, and Shamar Turner, who's been injured the entire time. Like that's 3 second-round picks and a first-round pick, and that's what you're getting out of them. It's unacceptable. I don't know, man. I hate to be negative.
Sorry, I see. I mean, another thing which is like, well, that's the obvious is if you just, I know that it tore the team down and they had to get the cap space back up, but when you do look at the winning percentage and how many games we've won and how many games we've lost underneath his leadership, it's like, all-time bad in Bears history. And the Bears have had some terrible seasons over the many years have been going. And, I agree. It's just like this. It's always been the same sort of positions where he seems to be weak on. He's like both, especially offensive line. To say we're an offensive lineman himself, it still pickles my brain to, why has he never made that more of an importance to the team? Because you think like just naturally that's where you progress, wouldn't you? And we all know that you start from the line and go out on both sides. And I think, he has. I mean, I suppose the thing what saves him is when he made that trade and we got all the draft picks. I mean, that's like a saving grace and getting Ben Johnson. But when you just look at the sheer numbers of losses we've had, it's really hard. It's really hard viewing. Really hard viewing.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he learned from one of the best GMs in the league, and Brett Veach there in Kansas City, who absolutely you got lucky and picked the correct quarterback. But other than that, they have built through the trenches. They went and drafted Chris Jones and re-signed him. They went and drafted Trey Smith. They drafted Creed Humphrey. You know, they drafted these players and developed them and kept them in house. I mean, it's those are from. Go ahead, KB.
I was gonna say I think a lot of that also is training. I mean, the staff, because Trey Smith was drafted in the 6th round.
Yeah,
Creed Humphrey was a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like a lot of it plays into a development thing too. When have we actually sat here and said the Bears developed anybody? It's always been the question, right?
Yeah.
We don't develop anybody, but then players go off to other teams and then they get developed and start looking better. Like I said, if we took Trey, if Trey Smith was in this draft and we took him in the 6th round, people would bitch.
I don't know about that.
Mean, Ozzie Patillo goes to another team and is starting at left tackle, then what do you say?
Yeah. Well, maybe, but he dropped to that 6th round because he had blood clots coming out of college. His tape was immaculate at Tennessee. He looked like a sure thing guy, but they were worried about injury concerns. I do want to say before we move,
Justin Simmons dropped to the end of the 1st and should have been the 1st round. Should have been the early 1st.
Yeah, but he had injury concerns as well. He was out most of the year last year.
And did we not? But we had the same bitching to play.
Yeah, but the biggest thing that I've talked about: go get the guys from Tennessee, go get the guys from Ohio State, go get the guys from Alabama, go get the guys from Georgia. Why are we drafting our left tackle out of Yale or Southern Utah or I guess Boston College if he works out? I love Ozzie. You know this, KB. I've been banging the Ozzie Strapillo drum. I do want to say before we move on too far, Aldo has put this in the chat. Brad Biggs is reporting that Grady Jarrett, he's dealing with a right knee issue. He's going through the pregame workout at Ford Field with the training staff. D-line coach and general manager Ryan Poles observing. Jarrett is questionable to start. So that'll be something to keep an eye on for this defensive line, who I know you guys may not have been impressed by him, but I was, at least in the first half, I was damn impressed by our defensive line.
You're right in the first half, but I just think because now the game went, it just, especially, in the second half, that, I probably lost focus, obviously, because we were out on them by the end of the second half. But frustrating. But it's sort of frustrating, but like I keep saying, it's things that I feel like they can sort out, and you just got to think it wasn't going to be like Detroit's offense this year. It wasn't going to be at that level. It takes a couple of years for that to get the right personnel and people getting bought into the system. And we are talking about 1 week. It's one game, the opening game of the season, where nobody's got any proper tape on each other, So you get the odd sort of crazy sort of scoreline. But we only lost by 3 or 4 points. We didn't get wiped out, and that would like I said, that would have team what we fought in 3 last year. So I just think, I just feel like we got maybe a little bit out-skinned in the second half, sort of, both our defensive coordinator and Ben Johnson. I don't think Ben Johnson sort of really reacted quick enough with the amount of increase they made in their blitzes. And I think our D coordinator really didn't adjust to like their, how good they were running.
Yeah,
especially between the tackles. That makes you think. But then you got to think, man, it was his first ever proper season game as a head coach in the NFL, and I don't think he embarrassed. All right, apart from that decision, like we discussed regarding the challenge, but that's why this next game is so intriguing, isn't it? Because it's sort of like, what are we going to see any noticeable changes? Are them changes going to change what we need to meet the Detroit Lions by? I'm talking this probably from the offense sort of point of view. Which team is going to be able to deal with the passion of the game? Because which team's going to make the Ben Johnson story a big sort of part of their sort of rah-rah speech? You know what I mean? But I mean to me, really, I think it's probably the team what plays with the most level heading without that stupid sort of passion. How can you ever go to a coach? What all he's done is, he's gone from a coordinator to head coach position. All right, it's in the same division, but you can't really have a go about somebody doing that. it's not the same as if he went to another team in the division as their offensive coordinator, at the same level. And yeah, you'd be thinking, what the fuck's all that about, you cheeky fucker? Do you know what I mean? But I think a lot of it's going to be who deals with that. And I can imagine Dan Campbell making that a bit of a thing, you know what I mean? Like a big he'll be, he wants to embarrass you and all that. But obviously the main thing is that, but, whoever loses goes 0-2. And the pressure is on then, isn't it? That is like, when it kicks in, especially like for a team like Detroit, ours probably less, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's going to be a good game. And I just hope, like, this might be the game where the Bears, change the page and stuff like that. But even last year, we played Detroit pretty hard in both games, didn't we? And that was last year. So, you feel, and obviously you feel Johnson's going to have a bit of an idea about how to do things and stuff like that. But, yeah, I just think it's going to be down to team that probably takes that sort of excessive drama that, away from the minds and just sort of, it's just another football game and don't let things get blown out of proportion when it comes to, egos and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I think we need to move on, turn the page. I think Ben Johnson is starting to learn from that Chicago media. I don't know if you guys saw him. Like Friday, they asked him about the kick at the end of the game, and he was like, one more time. One more time. I got greeted. I wanted the 5 yards. Let's move on. Like, I feel like we need to do the same. Absolutely. The blame. There was plenty of blame to go around for last week's loss. Now it's time to get back on track in Detroit. Like I named the show, Ben Johnson Revenge Week, going back up there to Detroit. The Lions fans are calling.
So basically, Steve, your whole theme of the show is completely against what I just last said about playing sick and the passion out of the game. And then next bit he's like, yeah, Dan Campbell.
Hey, I feel like it is a big thing. I think the fans up there in Detroit. And it's in Detroit. And KB, Chris, Chris, you said you were watching college ball. Have you watched a little bit more?
Yeah. I watched Clemson game against Georgia Tech, and I watched the Tennessee game as well. I can't remember who they played at all.
But the biggest thing to me,
Georgia wanted to play Georgia. I was quite hammered by the end of that game. That was like quite late on over it. So blasted.
Well, the biggest difference to me from the pro game to the college game is the atmosphere. When you go into those schools, you go into those stadiums, it's rocking, it's ruckus. You can't hear anything. And a lot of pro stadiums, like these guys are paid millions of dollars. They're there to be entertained. A lot of, people are, I'll get up on third down, but I'm not going to mess with, like in college games, they're yelling the entire game. There's two places in the NFL that I think have that type of atmosphere, and that is in Buffalo and in Detroit. So if we had guys struggling with the cadence last week, you're going into Detroit, it's not getting any easier. Our guys got to buckle down and get it together. Jonah Jackson, we're looking squarely at you, brother, on that offensive line. We got to start getting into this game and turning the page, though. It's we're running out of time on this show, and we haven't talked about this week's game whatsoever. KB, what's your biggest key to a Bears victory today, you think?
Stop the run.
Oh, man, I was going to say that. That was my – look, even had notes as well, KB. I even had notes that subject, you bastard.
Brother man, because that was the undoing of last week. You have to stop the run. If they can stop the run, I feel like this game should be won handily. I don't think Detroit's as good as people thought they were. I think that you lose two coordinators and a litany of other coaches, you regress back to the mean. Right. It's just the sad truth of the reality, man. I feel like it was on display in their first game against the Packers. They looked out physical. They looked out prepared. They looked outmatched and outcoached. So you have to stop the run, man. I feel like just like how Matt's saying, if you stop the run, you're gonna stop the pass. They didn't look good.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to get our the main guys back. You'll have JJ and T back. So hopefully that pays dividends to it. But I mean, Grady might not be playing. If he does have a knee issue, maybe he should get limited snaps because it's sad, man. You're a liability. But stopping the run is key one, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I completely agree with everything you said there, KB, via my notes. But I think you're completely right. I mean, last week, Montgomery got the large amount of 25 yards, and Gibbs only got 19. Do you know what I mean? So, and that was one of the reasons why the Packers, Packers have got quite a good defense. But I just thought their offensive line, which were like their strength over the last couple of seasons, were just fucking terrible. Especially their line were just terrible. And you think as well, if we can stop the run and start to get a bit more pressure on Goff, he's either the most mobile QB about, is it? Do you know what I mean? So if you can start getting pressure on him, getting rattled, get him on his back. But yeah, I mean, it's also as well as how well is our defensive backs going to play, because they have got weapons. And it's just going to be interesting to see. Is Kyler Gordon is he still out?
No, he's supposed to be back.
Is he back on?
They said everybody was going to be back in this game.
All right. I didn't hear that. All right, cool. Because I just think with them three playing last week, it might have made a difference to the score. But depending on how good, how much they're back, I mean, that's a bonus.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I felt like Kyler was doubtful in this game, but I'll check the injury report.
I was gonna say what I seen said everybody was supposed to be back playing this week.
I do want to say I love what you said, KB, about stopping the run, setting it up from there, and as we said, Jeremy Forrer's in the chat saying Kyler is out and Gordon's ruled out, barely making it saying Gordon out. So. I thought that was correct. So we're going to be down Gordon, but we've got JJ coming back, and Tyreek Stevenson had a pretty good game last week. He didn't stick out for any boneheaded issues, so that's a positive. He did get screwed on some PI calls, whereas the receiver fell. That was ridiculous. But I think Cornelius is saying Shamar Turner's supposed to come back this week. So if Grady Jarrett can't go, you can see what you got in Shamar Turner. But absolutely stopping the run is first and foremost the number one thing to do. The Detroit Lions last week, now we don't know how good the Packers are. The Packers look like Super Bowl contenders. I'm sorry to say it. They look like after the first 2 weeks that I've seen, their defense is nails. And all of a sudden, I know. I'm sorry, Chris. And Jordan Love is all of a sudden hitting everything. But they shut Detroit down last week, and Detroit looked discombobulated. I mean, it made me more excited for our Monday night game. But seeing their offense without Ben Johnson, they just looked lost out there. They didn't run the ball well. We didn't hear about Amon-Ra St. Brown. We didn't hear about Laporta, who is a rising star in this league. Is that really all Ben Johnson, or they got Johnny Morton up there calling plays now, who learned under Sean Payton. He was in Detroit when Ben Johnson first started installing the offense, and I feel like I don't know if he's ready or not, but I think our defense is definitely going to have to get after it this week. I love that TJ Edwards is back because I trust him. That's a big deal to stop the run and to stop the passing game. I think that's definitely the number one key. What do you think the Bears can do offensively against this Detroit defense? Chris, you look like you're ready to talk.
I mean, one stat which I sort of cling hope to is that the Lions didn't get any sacks last week against the Packers. They didn't manage to get any. They did. So you're thinking, well, does that mean we could have a really good day on offensive line? I know they got the star DM back from injury, but oh man, it's just our strengths. I think the strengths has just got to be in the process, especially sort of if Caleb gets into rhythm like he did at the start of last week's game, then we can get the running game going as well. Then why not? It's like this season, I keep thinking, even if you have like a couple of games of bad results, this year I'm thinking, well, when's the page going to turn, and why not? Can it not be this week? You know what I mean? Unless it's like something like Philadelphia or whatever. And I just feel like they've got a lot of pressure on them. They're going to be at home. Nobody wants to go 0-2. Dan Campbell, I imagine his ego's going to feel it as well, because if we whop them, they'll be definitely going, oh, well, we can see why Detroit had success over the last 2 years. It wasn't just down to you, head coach. It was 2 coordinators. But right. I just thought that we don't do the same mistakes on offense than what we did last week, and we don't learn from them. And especially like the penalties, 127 yards in penalties, something like that.
Yes,
can't do that when you're away from home, because it's hard enough on offense when you're away from home. So it's going to be loud, man. They're going to be cheering. There's going to be fucking Beverly Hills Cop 2 playing in background. It's going to be all fucking noisy in Detroit.
Beverly Hills Cop, boy. Oh, man. That's a good one. I ain't heard that in a minute.
Well, go ahead and give me your thoughts, KB.
I watched on TV 2 nights ago, so I can't.
That's why.
I should have really said that, so sort of not made it as cool as it sounded.
Man, I mean the same thing I'm saying about Detroit and stopping them. It's got to be the same thing. You got to run the ball. Now you're gonna have to commit to it. They said Roschon was supposed to be back for this game too, I believe. You need to see what you got. Hopefully he can come in and stay healthy.
Yeah.
We need to lean on him. Monungai needs to get more touches. As much as I want, you have to limit the touches with Swift. To be honest, it should probably be Monungai or Roschon that comes out as your first early down back, and you put DeAndre in for third down situations and things of that nature. You need a big play, then you put him in. He doesn't need to be the every down back. But that's where it has to be. It has to start running the ball, because it opens up the rest of the playbook. The playbook is based off of play action.
Yeah.
You can't run the ball, you can't run play action. So
But also as well, KB, you're asking Caleb to do half the work compared to last week, where basically there's no running game, so he's having to do everything to get the ball going, which is why you are leading Russia. So you're bang on, mate.
You can't, and that can't be the case. Caleb, for as talented as he is not Justin Fields. You can't expect Caleb to run for 100 yards every freaking game and then still be out there trying to operate this offense. No, he needs to rely on the running game to open up the play action to get him going. I would also love to see him calm his feet down this week.
Yeah.
He did a very good job those first 10 plays. After that, feet became real erratic, and a lot of the mechanics went out the window. And then it became Caleb trying to play hero ball, and then you see the results. We can't have it. It has to be him being calm in the pocket. You have to get your mechanics down. You have to get your feet settled.
Yeah, even though the run wasn't working very well last week, if you look back at the tape, a lot of times when they ran play action, it was opening things up downfield. We just needed Caleb to hit it. I mean, we saw it early on that 4th and 3. He gets Kmet open in the middle. He just zings it in there like Brett Favre instead of throwing with some touch, and it was incomplete, and it was turned over on downs right there. And you just gotta make those throws, man. You don't get a whole lot of chances in this league of guys running wide open a lot of the time. I think it's the scheme is working. because Ben Johnson had guys running open. We just kept missing them, and that can't happen. Absolutely, we have to run the ball. Go ahead, Chris.
So yes, I think one thing what sort of annoys us fans is is inconsistency with the so-called easy throws. Anything less than 5 yards. If it's like a little roll out to somebody or a little dangle, like. And I remember Fields as well. Sort of that they were the sort of throws, which he seemed to struggle on. So I don't know if that's maybe a coaching thing through college, but I just think people with Caleb, it's just got to give him a chance, man. You know what I mean? But it's like I said before, nobody's dispensable. If coach wanted to change quarterbacks halfway through the season, if Caleb's playing that bad, which I don't think that'll happen, then as long as it's best for the team, then that's how it's got to be, really. But it's just hopefully this could be a statement game. And that's where you got to think as well. Like the coaches now have seen what their main starters, how they are in a live game. You know what I mean? That it's just like feeling out a lot of new things getting felt out, really. But I'd love it if we beat them. I'd fucking love it, man. Fucking people like Don Byrne and stuff like that. Fuck you, man. Fuck you and Ben Campbell. You can both get fucked. I'd love it. And it'd be such a cool sort of turnaround for Ben Johnson, you know what I mean, with all the hype. So I think it'll be a close game. But I really do hope we can do it.
Well, Bears fan 40 is calling 41-17. He's calling a shot early.
Hey, man.
I would love it. To the Lions.
Well, he says Bears fan, so I'm assuming that's Bears winning 41-17. Yeah, I mean, we've all made great points. The running game is key today.
Yes.
Because not only does that, as you said, KB, you can build off that with play action, opening things up downfield, but that also keeps that offense on the side and maybe quiets the crowd down a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing them shoot for a home run ball kind of early to try and get the fans out of it.
Would it be awesome if Ben Johnson's first offensive player with that football play we did against us last year and it worked? That'd be so fucking brilliant.
I don't know if he would try that or if they'll be looking for that. They'll be like, we know what Ben can do here. We've seen these things. Hopefully he's got something drawn up in that playbook of his, something special for. I wouldn't mind seeing him do something this week. We saw Darnell Wright making a lot of one-handed catches and training camp and stuff. That'd be kind of fun to see. Maybe down at the goal line, give him a jump ball, see how he does.
No, look, he'll get horrendously injured and be out for the rest of the season.
Don't say that out loud, C-Dub.
I was going to say, as long as it's not with the game on the line, I don't care.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. Good point, yeah. Give him his fringe moment.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time here, fellas, because we got the Goon Fantasy Football Show coming up behind us. Again, I'll go around the room. I'll start with KB and then Chris. Give me shout outs. Give me your score prediction, a bowl prediction, and your MVP, your most valuable Bear. And then we'll close this thing on out. Go ahead, KB.
Cool. First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat. You always doing your thing, man. Early Sunday morning, especially on the bounce back week where we're coming off a loss. It'd be a hell of a. It's funny because you hear the words "must win" already. You can't start 0-2 in the division. That's the absolute no.
Both these teams are staring down the barrel at that, KB.
Yeah, it's an early thing, man. You cannot start the season 0-2 in the division. That's a cardinal sin. Then most teams don't usually bounce back from shit like that. So, like I said, key to the game, man. Key to the game. We already said is run the ball, stopping the run. We have to do it on both sides of the ball. I give this a tight one. I'll say 24-17. I'm calling it tight because I can see a world where Detroit has the ball on the final drive and they're trying to make a push to either tie the game or pull some Dan Campbell shit and go for two. Right now, my MVP. I'm gonna go with this curveball. I'm going with Day-Al.
Okay.
I love what I saw out of him last week. It kind of released a little bit of the tension that you had, wondering if there was going to be an edge rusher opposite of Montez Sweat. Now the question becomes: shit, is there an edge rusher outside of Day-Al that wants it like he does? Because the kid was flying around.
Yeah.
He seemed to be getting pressures left and right. So I'm gonna say, man, I give him a sack in this game. I know he got a sack in the last game. I'll say he gets a sack in this game, and he's very disruptive on Jared Goff in this game. It causes a fumble. Like I said, love you boys, man. Sunday, man, we always doing this, man. Like I said, like it's early season tilt, man. This is a very important game. Can't ride past this one. Shout out to everybody in the chat.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Wow, man. I think, yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a close game. Fuck it, man. I'm gonna go ridiculously low scoring. I'm gonna go some like 14-10 to the Bears. I think Caleb it'd be awesome for Caleb to be like the MVP and just after like the week he's had in the press, be like just to shove a finger up to all that bullshit. So Caleb for me, man. But I wouldn't mind seeing one of the linebackers maybe getting it, but it's like I keep saying, every game to me is going to be a turn the page game, and hopefully the head coach have learned a lot about how the team is throughout the game. But yeah, just shout out to you fellas, obviously. Shout out to people in the chat, and also as well you can catch me on the British Bears Show Tuesdays. 9 o'clock UK time, 3 p.m. Central over in the States. But my co-host, is gone on his honeymoon. So I've only managed to draft in the Podfather himself as a guest.
Oh.
So, so that's absolutely mind-blowing. It's going to be so cool. So, if you're about, catch it, man. And please subscribe to this channel. And also BCP. Give us a like. It's nice for our ego. There's always loads of Bears shows on this channel, and it's all really, really high quality with high quality people as well. So everybody have a good week, but I'm just hoping the Bears might sneak it, man.
Yeah, I agree. First and foremost, shout out to y'all for coming on here with me, talking Bears, going through our little therapy session after a tough loss last week. Short week this week, getting up to Detroit. The Chicago media may not have been ready to turn the page on Friday, but I was pretty ready to turn the page about Wednesday. I was able to look at things and hear different perspectives of people breaking down the tape. Shout out to Kurt Warner. He really talked me off the ledge saying, look, it's not as bad as you guys think. And that's a Hall of Fame quarterback. And then we hear Tom Brady come out, another Hall of Fame quarterback, talking about how much coaching matters. And I really think it does. We have to be a little bit patient because, again, this has been Johnson's second game as our head coach. I think he's the right answer. And I want to see more out of Caleb, but I think it's in there. I know it is. I've seen it. I've watched this kid in college. I've watched him go through a shitty coaching situation last year. It blows my mind the things that I'm seeing Bears fans say about this kid, though. He's got the world on his shoulders,
Ridiculous.
And we can't imagine what he's going through. But he comes out and he's a leader and all those things. Shout out to the chat. They really brought it today. Everyone giving me their comments and giving their score predictions. We even have a couple of Lions fans in the chat, calling for a Lions victory today, and even a Bears fan calling for a Lions victory today. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Find out who that man is and get him out.
I got Bears winning, and honestly, fellas, I think we're going to open it up a little bit. The Lions defense last year was not great. They lose their defensive coordinator. Aiden Hutchinson's back, but he didn't show me much last week. He was pretty well, and maybe that's a shout out to the Packers again. I don't know, but he was really well played against last week, if we can take some notes on that tape and keep him in check, I think we'll be in good shape. I think Bears win this game 34-24.
Go on, son. Love it.
My MVP, man, I think we're going to try and get Colson Loveland involved a little bit. We've seen the seams opening up quite a bit, and they didn't get him involved last week. And I'm sure Ben Johnson's heard it all week about how Colson Loveland's your number one overall pick, and you don't get him involved. So let's get him involved and open these seams up. And when you got two of these guys, Kmet and Loveland, they got to make a choice. They've only got one Brian Branch. So let's figure it out and get the ball moving. I think we run the ball well today and play good defense. At the end of the day, we've watched Jared Goff crumble without Ben Johnson. He has not been. Well, I guess without Ben Johnson or Sean McVay, he hasn't been a great quarterback. And I think if we can get home and get some pressure on him, that'll be the key to the game. If you all are interested, myself and KB on Monday nights run a Chicago sports podcast. So we'll be over there live. You can subscribe over there. He does a lot of stuff, puts up a lot of shorts and those types of deals. He's actually got a watch party today there in Chicago, but I can't remember exactly where. It's at a casino. He's got Jim Miller there with him, so that's pretty cool. On Wednesdays, if you're interested, I do it's at the same time as Aldo's show, so you can catch it on podcast if you're tuned into Bear Their Souls. But it's called the 12-ounce Curl Route Podcast.
Are you on like something every fucking day of the week now or something?
Damn near.
You sound like my wife. I hear it all the time. Yeah, lack of sleep is what it's called, Chris.
Right.
Definitely. I'm always working. But you can catch me on the 12-ounce Curl Route podcast through the Daily Football Roundup. I'm actually the 6-pack challenge champion over there. Every week we pick 6 games against the spread.
Hey, bro, you ain't never got to reach down like that and grab the belt.
So, but we go over the whole NFL. That's a fun show on Wednesdays. And if you're watching Aldo live, you can catch it on Spotify or iHeartRadio the next day. That's fine with me. Just appreciate everybody. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe to the Barroom Network. We go live all the time. Actually, as soon as we get off here, we're going to have the Goon come on here and tell you how to set your fantasy lineup. And I mean, if you started Tucker Kraft on Thursday, you're already in pretty good shape. But he'll tell you who's starting, who's out, who's in, and all those things. And but just stay subscribed and hit your notifications for the Barroom. They tell you when we go live. It helps with our algorithm and our egos, Chris. But until next week, we'll just leave everybody with a bear down.